Hello everyone and welcome to the Young and the Restless official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Young and the Restless 2-week spoilers for March 9th through the 20th. Bring intrigue as Victor Newman is being murderous and Diane Jenkins panicking. Let's dive into what's coming up in Genoa City. On Monday, March 9th, Phyllis Summers rants at Billy Abbott for interrupting her reunion with Daniel Romalotti. He wants Phyllis to sign Chancellor over to him ASAP because Victor kidnapped Jack Abbott and says if he doesn't give Chancellor back, they'll never see Jack again. Phyllis thinks Victor is bluffing like he did with Lily Winters and the twins, but Billy reminds Phyllis how much Victor hates Jack. Phyllis thinks caving to Victor is a bad idea. Billy demands she make it happen and Phyllis tells Billy don't threaten her. But Phyllis heads to see Victor and asks if Victor really abducted Jack. Victor says that's between him and Billy. Phyllis says she owns Chancellor and doesn't think he'll hurt Jack. But Victor says doubting him is dangerous and repeats the threat about no one seeing Jack again. Phyllis wants Jack, Lily and twins for Chancellor. Victor doesn't trust and says he'll get back to her. Billy tells Kyle Abbott and Diane he gave Phyllis an ultimatum about Chancellor. Diane's angry that Phyllis is risking Jack's life. Diane's scared he's in danger and Billy hates Victor getting anything back. But Kyle and Diane tell Billy that Jack's life is more important than Chancellor. Billy demands proof of life from Victor and gets a photo of unconscious Jack. Adam Newman and Chelsea Lawson Newman talk over dinner about being unemployed. She hopes Victor gets the whole empire back but doesn't think he will. And she tells Adam the Newman Media website is forwarding to Spectre Charles. They can't believe Phyllis actually beat Victor. Jack's astonished. He's on a yacht with crazy Patty Williams, who insists she's sane and rehabilitated. She tells Jack they're alone on a lake nowhere for him to run. Patty knows he's back with Diane and Patty's flirty, wants a hookup, tells him to open his heart, but Jack refuses. He also refuses food and drinks, worried they're drugged. Patty tells him she's not the one calling the shots when Jack asks for a tour of the boat. Patty wants a kiss in exchange for a tour and Jack agrees. On Tuesday, March 10th, Lauren Fenmore has got a hard choice to make about Michael Baldwin and Victor or maybe Phyllis. Nikki Newman is oblivious that Victor's keeping a secret from her. Diane and Kyle investigate searching for a lead to find Jack. Diane and Kyle are with Billy, who says it could be a wild goose chase, but Kyle says it could be the lead they need to find Jack. Bottom line, Diane says it's the only lead they have, so they have to follow it. On Wednesday, March 11th, Nikki puts the pieces together about Jack's disappearance. Likely she'll figure out Victor did it. This week, Nikki and Phyllis bicker at Society. Nikki might ask Phyllis about the abduction, or it may be her dropping clues to Nikki about what Victor's done. Diane loses it with Phyllis because Diane believes Phyllis is putting Jack's life at risk. I suspect Phyllis to set things straight and tell Diane she already went to Victor to make a deal to get Jack back. Nick Newman and Sharon Newman ask Adam for help, likely about Matt Clark. Chelsea's there too, some strategizing. On Thursday, March 12th, Victoria Newman defends Victor's actions. Victoria seems to condone Victor's extreme measures of getting their family legacy back. Victoria's a lot like her father. Sienna Bacall tells Sharon and Nick she appreciates and owes them for protecting her from Matt, so Sienna took steps to eliminate the threat of Matt. Noah Newman is disturbed by what he hears from Sienna. Nick gets important news from Adam. Likely about Matt, Adam may find out Matt's location. On Friday, March 13th, Victor and Nikki reach a breaking point. Victor kidnapping Jack might be the last straw for Nikki, and her being upset that something happened to Jack and her questioning him will infuriate Victor on Young and the Restless. Lily is back. Did Devon Hamilton Winters and Nate Hastings bring her back, or did she come on her own? Kane Ashby hopes to make amends with Lily. Jack falls into Patty's trap. Will Jack give Patty her kiss and then she demands more? During the second week, Kane may be hurt that Lily conspired with Victor. Order Charles plays Kyle. She and Holden Novak have a scheme going where she seduces Kyle to break him and Claire Grace Newman, and for Order to prove she can get Kyle. Holden's determined to get Claire back and hopes order can make it happen. Victor stands by his decision to kidnap Jack. He's got zero remorse, and this leaves his marriage to Nikki hanging by a thread. Maria Copeland faces consequences soon of the kidnapping. Mental hospital ahead. Maybe they'll have Patty locked up in a psych ward by then too. Big final boss battle showdown with Matt coming soon. The Abbotts are still desperate to find Jack as he tries to fend off and outmaneuver Patty. Claire may snap when she finds out Audra is scheming again and go after her. Phyllis keeps trying to get her kids to forgive her. Maybe her offering Chancellor to Victor will work a charm. Unless they try and blame it all on Phyllis, in the coming 2 weeks on The Young and the Restless, Genoa City finds itself gripped by a storm of intrigue, fear, and emotional confrontation as powerful alliances fracture and dangerous secrets begin to surface. The drama ignites on Monday, March 9th, when tensions explode between Phyllis Summers and Billy Abbott. Phyllis is already emotionally charged, having just reunited with her son Daniel Romalotti, and Billy's sudden interruption pushes her patience to the breaking point. Billy isn't there for pleasantries. He arrives with an ultimatum that feels as ruthless as it is desperate. Victor Newman has kidnapped Jack Abbott, and according to Billy, Victor's chilling demand is clear. If Chancellor isn't handed back to him immediately, Jack may never be seen alive again. Phyllis initially scoffs at the threat, convinced Victor is bluffing the same way he once manipulated Lily Winters and the twins, but Billy refuses to entertain that possibility. He reminds her just how deep Victor's hatred for Jack runs, and suddenly the threat doesn't feel quite so empty. Still, Phyllis believes surrendering Chancellor would be a catastrophic mistake, and when Billy demands she make it happen, she warns him not to threaten her, but the weight of the situation is undeniable. Despite her skepticism, Phyllis soon finds herself standing face to face with Victor Newman himself, confronting him directly about the chilling accusation. She asks him outright if he truly abducted Jack, hoping perhaps for some hint that Billy's fears are exaggerate. Victor's response is cold and calculated, brushing aside the question by saying the truth is strictly between him and Billy. Phyllis pushes harder, reminding Victor that she is the one who owns Chancellor, and she refuses to believe he would actually harm Jack. But Victor's expression darkens as he warns her that doubting him could be very dangerous. With unsettling calm, he repeats his threat that if his demands are not met, Jack may disappear forever. Phyllis attempts to negotiate, insisting that Jack, Lily, and the twins must all be returned safely in exchange for Chancellor. But Victor refuses to trust her proposal and says he will consider it before giving her an answer. Meanwhile, Billy reveals to Kyle Abbott and Diane Jenkins that he already gave Phyllis a firm ultimatum regarding Chancellor. Diane is horrified, furious that Phyllis would risk Jack's life by hesitating. Fear grips her heart as she imagines Jack in real danger, while Billy remains consumed with hatred toward Victor and refuses to let him reclaim anything without a fight. But Kyle and Diane push back firmly, reminding Billy that Jack's life matters far more than a company. Desperate for proof that Jack is even alive, Billy demands evidence from Victor, and what arrives is a haunting photograph of Jack lying unconscious, confirming their worst fears. Elsewhere in Genoa City, life continues to unravel in quieter but equally revealing ways. Adam Newman and Chelsea Lawson Newman share an uneasy dinner conversation, reflecting on their uncertain futures now that both of them are unemployed. Chelsea expresses cautious hope that Victor might eventually regain control of his entire empire, though she admits she isn't confident it will actually happen. Their surprise grows when they discover that the Newman Media website has begun redirecting visitors to Spectra Charles, a twist neither of them expected. The realization hits them both at once. Somehow, Phyllis managed to defeat Victor in this corporate war. At the same time, Jack Abbott awakens to a surreal and deeply unsettling reality. He finds himself aboard a yacht in the company of Patty Williams, a woman whose unstable past makes the situation feel even more dangerous. Patty insists she is no longer the unhinged person people remember, claiming she is sane and rehabilitated. Yet the eerie isolation of the lake surrounding them tells a very different story. She gleefully informs Jack that they are completely alone, stranded on a remote body of water with nowhere for him to run. Patty clearly knows about Jack's renewed relationship with Diane, and her flirtatious tone quickly turns uncomfortable as she hints that perhaps Jack should open his heart to her instead. Jack firmly refuses her advances and refuses to eat or drink anything she offers, fearing it might be drugged. When he asks to tour the yacht, Patty coyly sets a condition: she wants a kiss in exchange for the tour. Cornered but calculating, Jack reluctantly agrees, knowing he must play along if he hopes to survive long enough to escape. As Tuesday, March 10th arrives, the pressure spreads to others caught in the web of Victor's dangerous choices. Lauren Fenmore finds herself facing a difficult decision involving Michael Baldwin and Victor, though Phyllis may also factor into the complicated equation. Meanwhile, Nikki Newman remains completely unaware that her husband is hiding a massive secret from her. Across town, Diane and Kyle refuse to sit idle while Jack remains missing. Together with Billy, they begin investigating a possible lead that might help them track him down. Billy warns that it could ultimately lead nowhere, nothing more than a wild goose chase that wastes precious time. But Kyle refuses to surrender hope so easily, insisting that even the smallest lead could be the key to finding his father. Diane agrees wholeheartedly, reminding them that it is the only clue they currently have, and when someone you love is missing, even the faintest thread must be followed. By Wednesday, March 11th, the truth begins to inch closer to the surface as Nikki starts piecing together the mystery of Jack's disappearance. Slowly but surely, the puzzle begins to form a disturbing picture, one that likely points directly to Victor. That same week, Nikki and Phyllis find themselves clashing at society, their tension simmering beneath every word. Nikki may begin probing Phyllis with questions about the abduction, or perhaps Phyllis subtly drops hints that point Nikki toward Victor's involvement. Meanwhile, Diane finally reaches her breaking point when confronting Phyllis, convinced that Phyllis's decisions are recklessly endangering Jack's life. The confrontation is explosive, fueled by fear and desperation. Yet Phyllis may attempt to set the record straight, revealing that she has already approached Victor in hopes of striking a deal that could bring Jack home safely. At the same time, Nick Newman and Sharon Newman turn to Adam for help regarding Matt Clark, hoping his resources and connections might help them handle the growing threat. Chelsea is present as well, suggesting that this uneasy alliance may be forming a strategic plan. On Thursday, March 12th, the Newman family itself begins to fracture under the weight of Victor's ruthless decisions. Victoria Newman openly defends her father's actions, arguing that Victor's extreme tactics are justified if they help reclaim the Newman family legacy. In many ways, Victoria proves just how much she resembles Victor in her willingness to protect their empire at any cost. Elsewhere, Sienna Bacall speaks with Sharon and Nick, expressing deep gratitude for their efforts to protect her from Matt Clark. But the gratitude carries a chilling twist. Sienna reveals that she has already taken steps to eliminate the threat Matt posed. Her revelation deeply disturbs Noah Newman, who struggles to process what he has just heard. Soon after, Nick receives crucial information from Adam, likely concerning Matt's location, suggesting that the looming confrontation with their dangerous enemy may be drawing closer. By Friday, March 13th, Victor and Nikki reach what may be the breaking point in their marriage. Nikki's growing suspicion about Jack's disappearance threatens to collide directly with Victor's stubborn refusal to admit wrongdoing. If she discovers that Victor truly kidnapped Jack, it may be the final straw for her patience. The emotional confrontation that follows promises to be explosive, especially if Nikki challenges Victor's morality and he reacts with fury at her questioning. Meanwhile, Lily Winters returns to Genoa City, leaving many wondering whether Devon Hamilton Winters and Nate Hastings convinced her to come back or if she made the decision on her own. Kane Ashby hopes desperately that Lily's return might open the door for reconciliation, believing there may still be a chance to repair the damage between them. But across the water, Jack Abbott faces a different battle as he slowly falls into Patty Williams' manipulative trap. If Jack gives Patty the kiss she demanded, there is every possibility she will only want more, tightening her psychological grip on him. As the second week unfolds, the emotional stakes grow even higher. Kane may feel deeply hurt if he learns that Lily secretly conspired with Victor, a revelation that could shatter his hopes for reconciliation. Meanwhile, Audra Charles begins playing a dangerous game with Kyle Abbott, working alongside Holden Novak in a calculated scheme. Their plan involves Audra seducing Kyle in an attempt to break the bond between him and Claire Grace Newman, proving to Holden that she can manipulate Kyle exactly as planned. Holden remains determined to win Claire back, believing Audra's manipulation may help make that possible. Back in the Newman household, Victor stands firm in his decision to kidnap Jack, showing absolutely no remorse for what he has done. His stubborn refusal to apologize pushes his marriage with Nikki to the edge, leaving their relationship hanging by the thinnest thread. Consequences begin to ripple outward as well, particularly for Mariah Copeland, who soon faces repercussions connected to the kidnapping ordeal. Some begin to wonder whether she could even face time in a mental hospital as the fallout grows. And with Patty Williams still holding Jack captive, there is also the possibility that she herself may soon end up locked inside a psychiatric ward once the truth finally comes to light. Meanwhile, the looming final confrontation with Matt Clark grows closer, promising a dramatic showdown that could determine the fate of several lives. The Abbott family remains frantic in their desperate search for Jack, while he continues trying to outwit Patty aboard the isolated yacht. And when Claire eventually learns that Audra is once again scheming behind the scenes, her fury may erupt in ways no one expects. Through it all, Phyllis continues struggling to earn forgiveness from her children, hoping her actions, perhaps even offering Chancellor to Victor, might prove she is trying to do the right thing. But in Genoa City, redemption is never simple, and there is always the possibility that the blame for everything will fall squarely on Phyllis's shoulders. As the tension stretches deeper into the second week of March, the emotional aftershocks of Victor Newman's ruthless decision continue to ripple through every corner of Genoa City. The kidnapping of Jack Abbott is no longer just a secret maneuver in Victor's relentless power struggle. It has become the spark threatening to ignite wars between families, lovers, and long-standing alliances. Victor himself shows no signs of regret, standing firm in his belief that every move he makes is justified if it secures the Newman legacy. His cold resolve casts a long shadow over his marriage to Nikki Newman, whose patience is wearing dangerously thin as pieces of the truth slowly come together. Nikki has always understood Victor's ruthless instincts, but kidnapping Jack may cross a line even she cannot forgive. With every passing moment, their marriage teeters closer to collapse, hanging by a fragile thread that could snap with a single confrontation. Meanwhile, far from the chaos unfolding in Genoa City, Jack Abbott remains trapped in a psychological battle aboard Patty Williams's isolated yacht. The lake surrounding them stretches endlessly in every direction, creating a haunting sense of confinement that presses down on Jack with every passing hour. Patty continues insisting that she has changed, that she is no longer the unstable woman everyone remembers, but her behavior tells a far more unsettling story. Her flirtation grows more intense, her fascination with Jack bordering on obsession as she pushes him to open his heart to her. Jack understands that every word, every reaction must be carefully measured if he hopes to survive long enough to escape. When Patty demands a kiss in exchange for allowing him to explore the boat, Jack reluctantly agrees, knowing he must play along with her twisted game. Yet deep inside, he is already calculating his next move, searching desperately for any opportunity to outmaneuver the woman holding him captive. Back in Genoa City, the Abbott family refuses to give up hope. Diane Jenkins and Kyle Abbott throw themselves into the investigation with relentless determination, chasing down every possible lead that might reveal Jack's location. Even the smallest clue becomes precious in a crisis like this, and Diane insists that they cannot afford to dismiss any possibility, no matter how unlikely it seems. Billy Abbott remains equally driven, though his anger toward Victor continues to burn hotter with every moment. Jack remains missing. The photograph Victor sent showing Jack unconscious still haunts all of them, serving as cruel proof that Jack's life truly hangs in the balance. Billy demands more evidence, more answers, anything that might confirm Jack is still alive. But the truth is, they are all playing a dangerous game against the man who thrives on control, and Victor Newman is not easily forced into a corner. Amid this growing storm, Lily Winter's return to Genoa City introduces a fresh layer of emotional complexity. Whether she came back on her own or was persuaded by Devon Hamilton Winters and Nate Hastings remains uncertain, but her arrival immediately stirs unresolved feelings and unfinished business. Kane Ashby, who has never fully let go of his love for Lily, sees her return as a possible second chance. He hopes that time and distance may have softened the wounds between them, allowing space for forgiveness and reconciliation. Yet hope in Genoa City is often fragile, and Kane may soon face a painful realization if he learns Lily had secretly aligned herself with Victor in his larger schemes. Such a betrayal would strike deeply, reopening old wounds and reminding Kane that trust can shatter in an instant.